Okay, I know we all hate talking about legal stuff, and I know everyone hates long, boring manuals. You were probably dreading this video as soon as you saw the title. So I'm going to try to make it as easy to follow as possible. And I'm not going to get into too many specifics with laws and policies here. An HR team or a legal team should do that for you and help you write your policies and procedure manual. I'm just going to give you an overview so you know what to expect. I'm also going to talk about what nonprofits should add to their manuals that normal for-profit businesses won't. Let's jump right in and answer, what is a policies or procedure manual and why do you need one? Think about when your number of employees is growing so much and you reach the point where you don't have your hand in every jar. When your organization is too big for you to handle on your own, you can't rely on just trust anymore. You can't just trust that your employees won't disclose confidential information or manage your donations responsibly. And it goes the other way too. Your employees won't just trust that you'll give them paid sick leave or follow employment rules. These rules have to be documented. You need to have everything officially written down and written out in specific words so that there's no room for error. You need this system in place so that everyone is accountable. And all of that goes into your policies and procedures manual. The manual is going to legally protect you and let your employees know that you're following the rules too. And it does a lot of other things too. It helps safeguard you from legal threats and risks. And it sets expectations for everyone. And for a general manual like this, you might hear different names being thrown around. Some people call it an operations manual, some call it standard operating procedures, SOPs, or playbooks. There are technically some differences about each type of manual if you want to get picky about it. But if you're just starting out, one comprehensive manual that covers everything will do the trick, no matter what you call it. For this one-size-fits-all policies and procedures manual, you can start off with the basics that everyone includes, whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit. These are things like any financial policies that have to do with reporting and accounting and budgeting, information confidentiality, and record-keeping policies. A code of conduct like non-discrimination policies or expected behaviors. Whistleblower policies, HR guidelines like hiring processes or employee evaluation procedures. Things that you'll typically find in an employee handbook, like employee benefits and pay schedules, safety protocols, compliance procedures for tax and employment laws, IT policies, and the list goes on, but you get the idea. Now, let's talk about what nonprofits should add to their manuals. Nonprofits should include governance policies for their board of directors. You should outline their roles and responsibilities and include a conflict of interest statement. Your statement is there to specifically say that board members will prioritize the organization's needs over personal needs, and then you can create procedures for dealing with any conflict of interest if it does happen. Nonprofits also need special financial policies and procedures for fundraising and accepting money. And not just for how to accept the money, but how to use the donations too, because we all know how touchy of a topic that is. So write up some procedures for that. You should also include procedures for things like grant writing and donor relations. And nonprofits need policies and procedures for volunteers because dealing with volunteers is a little different than dealing with employees. Procedures for volunteer recruitment are going to look different than employee hiring examples. It's not as strict with volunteers, but there are still some things you have to pay attention to protect yourself. Another thing to note is that reporting requirements for nonprofits are stricter. That's because nonprofits are held to a higher standard since they're in charge of donations. Basically, the government wants to know that you're being responsible with other people's money and that they are not wasting their grant money on you. So really pay attention to the policies and procedures for things like financial reporting and donor reporting. You have to make sure your employees understand these rules and that their work meets these high standards. I know this is boring for them too, but make sure your people are on the same page as you. All right, we got through all the talk about manuals. Hopefully it cleared some things up for you. If you're still kind of lost, there's plenty of templates online that you can use as inspiration. Just make sure you get a legal professional to help you with this one. Good luck.